Okay, this full moon coming up. This harvest moon. Uh, I gotta keep talking. Okay, so I'm never gonna be able to understand what this full moon is all about because it's some big harvest moon in the olden days. You know, pre 1940 when all the high school kids were enlisted in harvest time because there was a hell of a lot of physical labor that had to be done. And, the kids that were, over 16 were basically full grown and they were needed to do a lot of this physical labor. Um, that's why people had such enormous family sizes back in those days because they needed a lot of hands to do all the farm labor. What are we looking at for this harvest? Well, a lot of GMO corn, and that'll end up in your Mazola oil. And then what they do is they run the oil through an extractor, and they take all the vitamin E out of the oil, and they bottle the vitamin E and sell it in health food stores at ridiculous prices. So if you're thinking you're getting good value in your Mazola oil, there's all the vitamin E has been stripped out of it. So you're getting the oil, but none of the these other nutrients. Why did they do this? Because they want to profit from all of these other things they can get higher prices from. Uh, anyways, so what has that got to do with this full moon? It's basically the time when I'm going to be screaming at the top of my lungs. Uh, Maybe not so much, but explaining why it is that we're not as healthy as we could be. Is the GMO, not necessarily the GMO, but it's the fact that once you've got the corn product, you are taking all the goodness out of it and selling it at exorbitant prices as vitamin E or putting it in capsules. If people in the old days, if you bought your corn oil, it had all the nature's goodness in it because they didn't strip out all the good products. Who are they? Corporations, evil masterminds of Wall Street, etc., etc. So, I mean, I don't expect people are going to start growing too much corn in their own backyards. If you live in Chicago, Illinois, they probably don't have a backyard. They're lucky to have a basketball court in the neighborhood. So, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to go and raid the farmers' fields? I don't think so. I think what we all need is to settle down and that's not going to work either. I think we need to get our pots and pans out from underneath in the bottom drawer of the stove and go out on the main street and start banging pots and pans up and down the street and saying, we won't stand it anymore. That's not going to work either. Well, just because, some people sleep during the day and they're going to, open up their second story window to their bedroom and scream, "Shut up, you stupid git." So that's not going to work either. Back in the days of Sesame Street and Kermit the Frog, they, well, there was always Oscar the Grouch who lived inside a trash can, and Oscar was very down to earth. He knew what he was bitching about, and everyone came by, and Big Bird came and smiled at Oscar, and Oscar looked at Big Bird and said, "You're a stupid animal. Why the heck are you on my front doorstep?" And um, Oscar the Grouch reminds me of Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. That was the famous uh, Charles Dickens novel about the rich industrialist, a banker, Ebenezer Scrooge, being invested in so many things and paying poverty wages to Bob Cratchit, his nephew. He was a miser, which is someone who hoards money. And, well, everyone knows what happens in A Christmas Carol. He gets visited by various ghosts, his former partner, Jacob Marley, and ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Uh, Is this what's going to happen to the corporate industrialists who are taking the vitamin E out of the corn oil? Are they going to get visited by ghosts?